I'm Holy Holly, and I will be explaining to you how I reset my tarot deck as an oracle. So, this process is going to be different and unique to every being, depending on what your spiritual maturity levels are, and I don't even know if that's really what I believe, but it has to do with levels, I suppose, of observation, your observational skills. So how focused you are in observation. And I would like to share with you what I do before I reset my deck. I anoint my body. So I do this. I choose to anoint with my heart chakra first, because it's the center of all of creation, and it's the bridge between the lower chakras and the higher chakras. So to me, the heart is the center. This is where the eternal love flame is lit and kept. And so I always anoint this with the Star of David, and then or other symbols if my intuition goes there. So I'll kind of sit first, and I'll close my eyes and take a couple deep breaths in and out, open my heart, and then hear my guidance as to what symbols to tune into for anointing. And when I anoint, I'll anoint my 3 main chalice chakras. These are the chakras of the divine feminine. Usually the other chakras just kind of like align naturally when I open these chakras. They have the fires. They all have kind of their own fire in it. Yeah, they do. Each chakra has their own fire. But these ones have like an allowing type of fire or essence, like a womb holding, or like a bowl holding a space, allowing a space. So I'll anoint here, then I'll go down and I'll anoint my womb chakra, sacral chakra, and I'll go to my head and anoint my third eye. And oftentimes I'm directed to go behind my head and anoint my mouth of God and the top of my head, and anoint my pituitary gland and my pineal gland. The pineal gland gets anointed like through both of these, all 3 of these, I think. Pineal gland's like in the center of the brain. So I do my anointing. I'll ground like before I start, so that I am able to be clear and easy to comprehend for whoever I'm reading for, or even the energies, so that my channel of intention is very clear, and I'll be able, when it's clear, I'm able to observe even more. Like when my mind is clear of thoughts and my body is clear of feeling, I can observe even more the flow of the resetting of my cards. Yeah, so that's kind of what I do behind the scenes before I start. And I'll anoint my cards before I start. So I do that by bringing my cards to my heart to start, and I'll close my eyes and I'll breathe. This is a lot of breath work, because breath moves energy. And so I'll breathe a piece of my diamond essence heart flame, which is in the very center of the heart's flame. When we expand our heart's flame in all directions as far as we possibly can, it begins to shift into a rainbow essence. And then you can see the very center and feel the very center of your heart, and it's a diamond essence. So I tune into my diamond essence, and there are many ways to do that, I do that in a certain way. It's like open so I can get to the diamond essence. And I'll work with the angels that surround and are guardians of the heart's flame. But anyway, I'll tune into the diamond essence, and I'll breathe into the diamond essence to take one piece of the diamond essence, which is never ever separate from anything. So you're not really taking it apart or anything like that. But I take it, and when I breathe out, I put it right into the heart of this card, this object, so that it's reading, so I can read from my heart. So the words are the truth of my heart, the truth of not only my heart, but all beings' hearts, of the pulse of Gaia, the pulse of the universe. That's why I choose to anoint my cards this way. So I'll do it, I'll put them up to my heart, really focus, breathe in that heart essence and breathe it out into my cards, and really become focused on being present of all of the sounds surrounding me, and very present with the silent observer. So I feel that essence really going into my cards. And then once if I don't feel it right away, I'll breathe a few times to do that. And if I really feel like I'm not feeling it, I recognize in myself that that is good enough. That's as far as it is meant to go. And that I don't know how or why it's like that, but that I have felt enough. And I really trust that it's enough. So I go to the next chakra, and I bring them down like this. And I put her to the feminine chakra, the womb, holding space. And I'll ignite my womb's 5-petal rose flame. And mine is inside of a chalice. It's like a big bowl, but anyway, I'll ignite my flame down here, and I'll take with my breath, I'll ignite it by breathing in, and then I'll expand it on my out breath, and as I expand it, I'll place it into the cards, and then I'll do the same up here. So I like to start in the heart, go down, and then up, and to me that represents eternal, like eternity. Starting in the heart, going down, and going up. It's eternal. So that's the vision, or the symbol and concept I go through. So I place it here, and I really breathe my heart's flame. Oh, that's right. I failed to mention this. So while I take my heart's flame and I place it down in my womb too. So I ignite, I can see all of my womb space, and then I'll take my heart's flame and I'll pull it up into my head, into my third eye, and then I'll ignite my third eye by breath, breathing my heart up and illuminating the brain space, really illuminating and invigorating that feeling inside the middle of the brain. And I will take that flame and I will pierce it into my deck. So now I have the triple fold goddess in the deck, and which includes the god as well. There's no separation of the two. I choose to focus on the feminine because the feminine principles are feeling the unseen, and this is in our society something that is challenging for us. So I choose these symbols. See? This is the symbol of the triple goddess. Choose this symbol this is made out of the ocean. It's made out of shells from the ocean. So I choose that because of the very feminine aspect. Like it looks like a breast. And the moon is very feminine. It's the reflection of the sun. So I choose that because of the subconscious awareness of what the frequencies are in the body, which what in our patriarchal society we tend to avoid because it can be very raw feelings in the body. So I intend for people to feel into those feelings in their own way, in their own time. So by doing that, by setting the intention of like the goddess coming through, of experience inside the body, then I focus on healing these frequencies that come in and allowing awareness, opening awareness of the beings who come to me for their reading, to their experience within, so they can easily express it. And I do focus open to the divine masculine, so that is the part that makes it easy to express when we make our feelings obvious, and are able to articulate and kind of like give those feelings like qualities and characteristics, and like, or just express them through art, or however the expression works for the being. So I open this to people, this dialogue, and that opportunity for them to heal themselves. So I just, basically my intention as a reader is to widen perspective, break down beliefs that or that are limiting, and widen those beliefs so that we're able to be our own healer. So that these readings I do, they don't end when the reading ends. Like, the person takes the information and this new awareness of how to be their own healer on with them. Yeah. So that's part of my, okay. So when I'm doing, so that's, okay, I got off a little off track there. But when I'm doing, I do the anointing, then I start tuning into, put the cards in my receiving hand, unless it says otherwise. The left side of your body is receiving. This is the feminine side, because the right side of the brain is the feminine side. So you know how it switches, like. So this is the feminine side. This is our ancestral side, what we are given through our DNA. And this side is the masculine side. This is what we do with the information that we're given. How we make this information we're given from our ancestors obvious, and how we put it into practice and action. So I put the cards in my left hand, make them upright because I'm resetting. So when I'm resetting, I put all of the cards upright and I put them in order. And I put them in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, the system. For me, I sandwiched the major arcana in the middle of the order I created. And I started with the east, which is air. I did it in a directional type of way. So air, the swords, I started with air. I went down to fire, the wands. So the wands are next in the deck, and then the major arcana comes after in order. And then I put the Fool. Fool is 0, so it can go first or last. I put the Fool first in my major arcana. And then I go to water, which is the west, and then I go earth, which is the north. And I did a little ceremony with my deck on the new moon a few months back now. And now they're finally ready to be recalibrated. I just listened to my intuition. Sometimes it takes patience. Like, it's not just the next full moon, that you do. It's not always do the recalibration on. Sometimes it is, but for this deck it just wasn't. It's been a few months, and now I'm recalibrating, so they're just ready, and when I feel ready, that's how I know the deck is ready. And then the deck is also tuning into my rhythm, so we're coupling up here. So, yeah. So there's a way that I recalibrate, and I do it with sacred geometry, light. Sacred geometry like it's a mandala. And it looks like light, and it's colorful, very bright and colorful. And different colors come through for different things, obviously. Like, because I'm resetting in the moment, I keep seeing white, like a really vibrant white with rainbow light, like a rainbow, kind of like it's a diamond essence glaring from the white, and it kind of looks like I'm being shown like a ball of this mandala that starts with the Star of David, and I see a rose in the middle, and I see the flower of life radiating out in this ball. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, it takes a little bit of practice maybe to tune into that for yourself, but when I'm making the sacred circle with my deck, I will tune into that kind of imagery so that the ball gets bigger and bigger and bigger and more and brighter and brighter and brighter with each pass of the sacred circle I make with the cards. So you'll see what I'm talking about once I really get into it, and once I show you like the setup I have down here on the ground. But so yeah, I really focus into that, and I really focus into the movements, the motions. I've become very observant and use my focus in a keen way, a meditative way, where I move with the flow of the energy. I'll like rock back and forth, and sometimes I'll dance, and I'll make sure that I'm very focused on the cards, where they're setting, how they're setting. So I'll make sure that the cards like set quite symmetrical, that the spacing between the cards is all the same, that the cards are stacked on top of each other. This is how I am when I'm resetting. I make sure that everything's stacked really well on top of each other. Yeah, like I said, I don't do that for all of my readings. In fact, if I'm doing a reading for a specific person, I'll reset this way, but I will watch my rhythms, and I will watch how the cards sit, and if they sit like in a way where the deck is imperfect, and I feel the need and desire to like really, really make it perfect. That's part of the reading with the next person that I am about to read for. So I tune into like, that's what a quality that they tune into, like maybe a perfection, how they're perfection, or if it's like all scattered and it's just like really me going really feeling like I have to go really fast, that's part of it, or going really slow and very you just really have to focus and see what the qualities are. It tells you a lot about the next reading, but we're not doing that here. We're just recalibrating. So we really do want it to be like an artistic thing where every aspect of the artistry is included. Every single thing in it is included. So I've noticed here that my tapestry is a little bit wrinkly. That would be included in the artistry. The image is a little bit wavy. That part's included. See how observant you must be as an artist, or at least because every single little aspect and detail is included in art. If you see that image, that is the image So, your art. So yeah, so I pay a lot of attention to that. But I do get into a dance when I'm doing it, and I also like choose a pattern that is very intentional. A pattern, but what I mean is like where I place the cards. The pattern is very intentional. I start in the center. To me, that's starting in the center of the universe, the source. Um, Usually when I'm resetting, I start with the Fool card. I'm going to tune in, and I might have to like start with the Major Arcana cards. But I make my pattern kind of, I intend on it circling the Fool. The Fool card to me is representing everybody. It is the baby Buddha. You are a fool when you are born, and you are a fool when you die. And you're a fool in between. That we don't really know the truth of anything. And that we're in a trance when we're walking through this world that appears to be solid and appears to be what we expect it to be, but it's really a dream. And it's really energy that's moving and changing constantly. And it's never the same, ever. So, so this is like the trance, the dream that the Fool is walking through. And that's where I start. Why I start with the Fool in the center of the mandala. And so my mandala movement, I will first open the circle, unless the cards say otherwise. So sometimes I open the circle by creating a circle with my cards. But other times I will start with the cross. So the cross, I choose the cross and the circle because the cross, that is supposedly the oldest symbol of humanity, is just a plus sign with a circle around it. It represents the divine masculine as the plus sign and the divine feminine as the circle. And it also represents the center point of the Fool, the hero, the hero's journey, the heart, the source. Where, and the present, very present moment, the breath, the pulse, if you want to go into frequencies. So I'll start with as above, so below. This is the first line, up and down. Divine masculine, what is obvious is at the top, and the divine feminine, what is experienced is at the bottom, the frequencies. That's the line. And then I will go to the attachment. Oh, I'll do it this way. The attachment to the past and the attachment to the future. So that's the horizontal line. And this is linear thinking. So this is like patriarchal way. And then I'll focus on the feminine, more of the feminine. So like the patriarchal way, and then the circle, well, it symbolizes protection, but it also symbolizes the cosmic egg. Oh, I never thought of this. So when, so the cosmic egg, if you think about it, with the sperm going into the cosmic egg, if it can penetrate the egg, then it goes like just like a plus sign target. It's like the target of the sperm has a target in the egg. So that's interesting, but the circle is the cosmic egg, and it's the divine feminine, it's the holding space of this kind of linear thinking. And that's kind of like where yeah. So I think the cosmic egg is kind of also outside of the box thinking, and it's not even thinking at all, it's feeling. It's feeling inside the body, without labeling those feelings. just feeling the feelings and without judgment of if they're wrong or right. So that's like the circular part. And it also represents like the wheel of fortune. It also represents, like the wheel of fortune can represent karmic design, karmic law, which to me is a made up kind of, or how we perceive divine will and the human free will, like, which is the same exact thing. But anyway, so it is like a made up concept to me. And it is it's an illusion, karma, and it's real. So it's a real illusion that it exists, that we kind of like walk through and we make up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The symbol of the circle and the cross kind of tell me that it's like it's kind of like a karmic law. It's very challenging for me to wrap my mind around karma. My friend, who I bonded with, she was describing to me in a very gentle and clear way what karma is, and it did make sense when she told me. So I do kind of like, I can buy into this idea of karma, but it is still like an illusion, and it is still made up by humans and consciousness, a human consciousness or beings. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just me getting on a tangent. We could talk forever about that sort of stuff. Feel free to just fast forward through little rants like this. I should just like tag the little rants and describe that. Like say, hey, this is where I ranted. If you don't want to see that, go to this part. And I'll have like the timestamps, if I can figure out how to do timestamps. Okay. Anyway, I think that's a good idea. So yeah, so after I finish with the pattern I make and the breath work, I really breathe. Oh, that's key. That is like super important. The whole time I am doing my pattern of like putting these cards down in sacred circle and sacred geometry, the way I move my arms, I'll make like sacred geometry with my arm movements. You'll see what I mean by saying that. And also I use my breath. Like I breathe the whole time, and I'm breathing really deeply into these movements, and the breath is the flow of movement and moving energy. So I really focus on my breath and being very present in my breath while I'm doing it, very focused. So very, very focused. So yeah, I do that. And then when I'm finished, I stand above it, I put my hands above it, and I feel the eternal flame Reiki come through my heart, through my hands, and I feel the sacred geometry with my hands, and being very present in the moment, I surrender to that sacred geometry. To me, sacred geometry is divine will, and me seeing divine will, or us seeing divine will. And when we really feel into the sacred geometry, then it's the frequency within our body. So it's what we are being. Is in that point is divine will, or the divine will is channeling through us, if you want to call it that. So I stand above it, I put my hands up above it, I really focus on it very solidly. I focus on, if I'm doing it for a person, I focus on their path being lit up with this tunnel of the sacred geometry in their tunnel, and how the path that they walk, the tunnel, anyway. And then oh yeah, and I also place my stones on each card, and I make a sacred crystal, grid in the deck to. For this purpose, it will be to reset, to recalibrate in the moment, and I choose rose quartz to reset. I also have my shells that I showed you. I put my shells in a certain position, and I have citrine here as a reset infinitely so, and it's in the eternal flame of the heart. And I also use my zeolite crystal. My zeolite crystal is, her name is Rose, and she's 4 matrix, 4 different crystals living together, different types. There we go. Yeah, so she's got like little caves in there, and they're still growing, and she's a very gentle soul.